Let's go ahead and kick off our Women in Tech series. Today I am with Miranda Merilli. I'm super excited to kind of get to know some of your background and where you are now. So if you wouldn't mind, start us off if you would tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got to your role with GNC.
So I started at NYU School of Engineering. I actually originally went for civil engineering and I switched my major, like many people do. But I did switch it to technology management. So I did graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Technology Management, and then I moved to Pittsburgh. I had a job here now for 2 years, and then I moved to where I am now at GNC, which I absolutely love. I'm a system administrator there, and I also do all our data analytics. So really, anything that comes into the service desk, I pretty much know about. From our stores, from the corporate side, like we have a huge data center move we're doing right now. So it's very intense, but I love it.
Awesome. That's good. What does a typical day look like for you? What kind of things are you working on, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, there's no typical day, I would say. I try to do most of my reports in the morning, and then I have like my select that I have to do Mondays, my select I have to do Fridays. So I try to get that out of the way. And then I also am continuously improving our service desk tool that we do. So I do some process improvement with that, which involves developing that tool. So getting in the back end, updating tables, adding
Right.
lookups, really anything that they need done to help them do their job easier.
Right, right. Awesome. What made you originally interested in technology?
Well, my dad.
Yeah.
So I come from, my dad was in IT and my mom was a nurse. I really didn't want to be a nurse. So I kind of just went with it. I've always been good at math and sciences, which kind of helped push me that way. That's why originally it was engineering, and then I kind of moved on to technology, which I was very happy with that decision.
Right, right. Do you remember taking any specific courses or classes, or even out in the community, any workshops or anything that related to tech that you were like, oh, and it clicked, like, oh, this is what I want to do? Any classes in particular?
So in college, I took this data management class, and it was like everything you can do with Excel. And that class alone is like my job half of the day at least. So
Yeah.
that class alone, like I could have probably just went to college and took that class and I would have been good.
No, that's
But
so funny because Excel, there's so many things that you can do with it. That in itself is a whole tool. And it's funny that you mentioned that that's what you do every single day. It's how many times we're sitting in these classrooms and we're like, when am I ever going to use this again? Like algebra or whatever. And in the tech industry, you see it being used every single day. So that's funny that you say that. Are you aware of any like resources or community opportunities that you would recommend for people that might be interested or not sure, like where to kind of start?
I don't know of any in Pittsburgh. I know when I was in New York, there was a ton of opportunities that we actually held in our gymnasium. There was always like robot competitions, or they were just always in there doing tech stuff, I guess,
Right,
from
right.
coding to this to that. Um, I don't know of any in Pittsburgh per se, and I know growing
Okay.
up in Altoona, it was a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have a lot there as well, but I guess I just wish there was more, even like in the world we live in today, like you could have a remote shadowing something
Right,
for
right.
girls or really anybody to see if they're interested in any field. Like you don't know what you're going to be interested in when you go to college. It's just kind of like take a pick. Like
Right.
what do you think you're going to be into?
Right,
But
right. No, and that's kind of what our efforts are with this, is kind of just spreading that awareness. If we can, and we're going to share this with some girls in surrounding high schools and in Wilmington and up in Altoona, and I mean for the world to see as well. So I'm really excited that hopefully, like, if we can get enough women leaders to kind of get on this wave, because we need more women in the tech industry. And like you said, like, to try it out, whether it's a workshop or a community event, to go and just like to have that awareness of the resources available. I mean, think of Google or YouTube. That's like the biggest, like, look it up, and try to learn a new skill. So that's interesting. I got to check it out and see if there is anything in Pittsburgh that we could share, and I'll put that on our website. What would you say is the most exciting part of working in the computer science / tech field?
I'd say no day is ever the same. So it definitely keeps my attention. It keeps me busy. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but it makes the days go fast.
And
But
would you say that's because technology is changing every second of every day and the advancements and all of that? Or what do you mean, like, every day is not the same? Is it new problems, new solutions that you're coming up with?
everything.
Everything?
So
Okay.
yeah. So when I first went into GNC, we had a lot of legacy systems. But I've really seen it evolve in the past 5 years. It's insane how much it's changed. Just in 5 years. I can't imagine what we'll be in 10 years,
Right, right.
But yeah, and then the same with the processes, we move from this vendor to this vendor does it this way. So we have to change the process to
Right.
go with the new vendor, go with, yeah, new solutions.
Awesome. What is the most fulfilling part? Maybe not the necessarily exciting, but the most fulfilling part of being in the industry, or for your role right now or past roles?
Um, I'd say the relationships that I've built, like my team that I work with, like we all get along so well. It is amazing. If one person needs help with this, that's her strong suit. So we all go to that person for that. They'll teach you how to do it, so you may be able to do it the next time. Um,
Right.
but there's actually a lot of girls on my team, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And that was going to be a question is, what is it like being a woman working in the tech? Because in other scenarios, and even I've said this before, but even at PS Solutions, I'm one of just a few. And it's great that you have so many women on your team. What is it like just in general of being a woman in a primarily dominant male industry?
I mean, it doesn't bother me, I guess. I like it. It's, I mean, even at NYU, like at the
Mhm.
engineering school, I would say it was probably 80% men, 20% women.
Mhm.
Um, and now into GNC, I'd say it's more like 60/40. There's definitely a good
Awesome.
split. I do see more women, the longer I'm in IT, obviously I'm gonna see more changes, but
Right.
I definitely see more women in IT these days than I did when I first started.
Yeah, and isn't that amazing? Just a few years and the growth. So I'm excited to see what the future, especially with these conferences, Women in Tech, and the promotion of Girls Who Code. And again, going back to PS Solutions Foundation of just showing these girls in middle school, elementary school, even high school, that there are career opportunities, and showing them like there are women holding these leadership positions. So I'm excited to see where we are in the next couple of years with the growth. Do you have any advice for girls, like I said, elementary school, middle school, or even high school, that are interested in getting started in tech? Just any advice that you would give to them?
Um, I would say network and build relationships because I feel like anywhere you go anymore, it's like, oh, that person knows that person who was at that company. And I just feel like everybody knows everybody.
Right,
But I would just say get in a good network and build those relationships because then your opportunities will be endless.
right.
This
Yeah,
person needs somebody to code. This person needs process improvement. This person needs a manager. Like, oh, I have
right.
a perfect person for that. So I really think that just build relationships.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish that's something I was told back start of college. That's the one thing. It's like really, it's all about who you know,
Mhm.
and the opportunities, and like you said, your network. somebody might have an open role or no. And especially nowadays, I think a lot of managers are starting to either hire within and referrals and all of that stuff too. So I definitely agree that networking is important. How can we get more girls interested in tech, do you think? Especially with your background, having your dad in the tech world, you were in a household where you kind of saw that, I assume. How do you think that we can get more girls interested?
I'd say start them early. I
Mhm.
feel like these I mean, I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. I feel like they're glued to the TV, to their phone, to the tablet. Just start them early with really anything. I was looking at Christmas toys even, and there's this one toy for a 5-year-old about coding, and it has this
Wow.
little dog go around a map, and you can, point which way it goes. But so I just feel like starting them earlier, making sure that they're aware of the opportunities that they
Hmm.
can too be in tech.
Right. Awesome. And do you think, and you kind of mentioned in the household, but also schools, like what can schools be doing to kind of, you know, get people interested? I think back and I'm like, oh, like I like the arts, I like graphic design, and I didn't really click that's technically a tech job, using the computer, using art, digital arts, all of that. So what do you think that schools could do maybe a little bit better of to get more girls interested?
I think even from like the middle school level to high school level, they need to have options that are almost like career based.
Hmm.
Um, and that way they could find their way. And if they don't like it, then they find out then, not in college or later on when
Right,
they're already have their degree. So I think
right.
earlier on would help with programs, classes, you name it. I mean,
Hmm.
there's technology, there's stuff for everything. You could have a
Right.
remote class that you offer kids as well.
Hmm. Hmm. And this question has come up in past interviews of like, there's some type of computer science basics maybe in certain schools. But do you think that we should be teaching a computer science language class? How you have to take 2 credits of a foreign language, whether that be Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, any French. Do you think that we should have that same type of thing for a computer science language nowadays, since it's so prevalent, in our everyday lives?
Yeah, I think at least the option should be there to take it. I know in my high school we did have the option to take C++.
Okay.
Um, I didn't know back then that I may need it, so I did not take it. I wish I would have now.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I didn't even know what it really was back then.
Right,
Nobody really,
right, right, right,
But I guess just the knowledge needs to be explained more, I guess, to our youth.
right, right. Awesome. And again, I'm telling you, that's why with our foundation, just to spread that awareness to help young girls see, these positions are out there. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that you're super busy. But if there is one last thing that you could leave these girls with, what would it be?
Um, hmm.
Is there anything that, looking back, like you wish you knew sooner, or any other advice, anything like that?
Don't let people tell you no. Be better
Oh,
than the person next to you and never give up.
oh, I
Just
love
just
that.
keep pushing.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, very strong. And I totally agree. Just keep trying. Don't give up. But yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking some time to talk with us. Our series should be airing for National Computer Science Week, December 6th through the 12th. So we're excited. We have some lunch and learns planned in some schools that week. So we're going to share I'm putting together a blog series, and then also these videos will be up for the girls to see. So thank you so much. I know hopefully we'll have at least be able to touch a couple young girls and inspire them to even just get out there and try. So I really appreciate it, Miranda. Thank you again.
Yeah, let me know if you need anything else.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.